Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to SPTV Late Night Edition, where every night's a fine night not to be in a cult. So hi, everybody. So here we are. It's kind of late. I've been running around all day, and I'm filling in for some people who unfortunately fell ill. There's like all kinds of stuff going around. So yeah, here I am. You're stuck with me tonight. And I'm going to review a video. I hope that you guys can relax, get a drink, get some tea or whatever, and we're going to go through this awesome video from this creator. I assume he's probably on TikTok as well, but his YouTube channel is called Please David, and he did this fantastic reaction. So I'm reacting to him reacting to Scientology versus Jenna Miscavige, and he kind of put it together. I thought it was great, and I want to kind of present that to you. We're going to stop a few times, give me your comments and questions. It's sort of segmented, like there's sort of a few different topics, so we'll stop and talk about it, and I hope you enjoy it. So here's his channel right here called Please David, and he has 177,000 subscribers. He's got some cool stuff, it looks like, on here. I don't know how much Scientology content he does, but it looks very interesting. And then let me switch over to his recent video. Share this instead. So it's called the TikTok Scientology Rabbit Hole. Let me see if I can maximize that. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna start playing it. Towards the beginning, it's got a couple of spicy words, but it's got quite a few towards the end. So I hope you're not too sensitive to, some F-bombs here and there, but I'm going to try to skip over the first one because we're kind of early in the video, but I hope you like it. Some of it you may have seen already, but I like how he presents it and puts it all together. And we titled this A Normie Reacts. So it's really cool to see how he reacts, not having a lot of background in Scientology or having friends that were in Scientology. And I like his reactions. He's really funny. I think I'm going to play mostly the whole thing through, and we'll stop here and there because I really couldn't figure out what I should take out. So it's about a half hour. I have it sped up a tiny bit, so it should be a little less than that as far as play time goes. So let's go. Playing time. All right.
A second Scientologist has hit the For You page. Look, I have been swarmed on TikTok lately by Scientology pages. It seems like every city in the US has their own Scientology TikTok page. I gotta say, there's a bit of a battle going on TikTok right now between the Scientologists and the people who've escaped. So some of you might have seen a video by Scientology Minnesota. I think this is the most popular page because they use like a relatively handsome dude as their main spokesperson. But I'm not gonna lie, I had to fall down the rabbit hole a little bit. I'm someone who really never ever knew anything about what Scientology was, right? Just like the average person, all I know really is that Tom Cruise is a Scientologist and they're a bit whack. That's pretty much all I knew. But after going down this rabbit hole, I'd say it seems a lot worse and a lot more vague than I thought it would be. It's odd. It's really odd. Now, as I mentioned that there was a battle, the battle is mostly being spearheaded by someone named Jenna Miscavige, who is the niece of the current leader of Scientology. So I'm going to take you guys through this today. It's pretty crazy, pretty sad, but it's interesting nonetheless. And I feel like, you know what, since they're gaining so much steam on TikTok, let's let at least some more people hear about this before you get swarmed yourself about Scientology TikToks and maybe accidentally fall down the rabbit hole, maybe we can avoid that. So anyway.
Okay, let me go to the next timestamp. Okay, just skipping over a couple little things here.
Of TikToks here from Scientology Minnesota and Jenna Miscavige. And I want to be able to show you these side by side to really get the full picture here and this sudden push that they're making on social media. I want to start off here with Scientology Minnesota. So here's a little intro video to what it's like inside the Church of Scientology in Minnesota.
Today I'm going to take you inside the Church of Scientology Minnesota. Welcome to the Church of Scientology Minnesota. This is where people just walk in. You go to reception right there. Hi, head up.
First of all, it is a beautiful building.
Yeah.
It is. That's a nice building, man. I'm understanding how you're paying for that now, but it is a very nice building. By the way, this guy probably doesn't get paid. So you make $50 a month? Nah, I'm variable week to week, bruh. So he probably makes less than $50
He's so cool. It's like, bruh. Like Scientology is so cool, right?
a month.
Okay, so once you walk into the Church of Scientology, Minnesota, you got our public bookstore, and you got materials like if you're interested in Scientology, the fundamentals of thought. Maybe you're interested in like helping your kid in study. So we've got the Learning How to Learn course, teaches children how to actually study properly. Or if you're interested in the reactive mind, this book sold over 20 million copies worldwide, translated in over 50 languages. That's Dianetics.
Okay. So if you're like me, that might have confused you a little bit because I thought Scientology was a religion because they call themselves a religion. All of their texts, their sort of religious texts, I don't think they actually refer to them as religious texts, but like all the books that are surrounding their religion, it's all just like self-help slop, even self-help slop for kids. Like you're going to notice a lot of.
Oh, okay, he's got some spicy words. This is a little bit early on, so let me skip over those. 402. Okay.
Strange thing to build a religion around, but it gets more confusing and even more vague.
This is our Public Information Center. I'm going to show you some of the things that we have. Okay, so this is the Public Information Center where people can walk in, tour, and watch thousands of hours of videos on Dianetics and Scientology, our humanitarian campaigns, the founder, L. Ron Hubbard. So you can also come in here and receive a demonstration utilizing our e-meter and basically can see a thought.
Okay. You saw that little machine there? That machine's going to come back. Okay. That machine's kind of important. It helps you see a thought. Okay. And that is a foundational instrument for Scientologists. If they could see my thoughts right now, they probably wouldn't be super happy.
You know, this kid says things and kind of glosses over. And if you really listen to it for a minute, it's like, thousands of hours of this old guy from the 50s talking. No, thanks. It was trying to make it sound cool. And you can see your thoughts like, okay. Like, yeah, it's hilarious.
We've also got a fireplace. It's not on right now. It's not cold enough yet. This is our chapel. It's really big. We utilize our chapel for Sunday services and religious ceremonies, and we open its doors for free to any other like-minded groups or organizations who want to use it.
Okay. So that was the church tour. So to someone who knows nothing about Scientology, that seemed mostly fine. A little odd when all the books in your bookstore are by one person and you have a waiting room area where you're hoping people sit down and watch thousands of hours of content on those same books. But other than that, relatively normal. But let's just note the vibe there for a second. Cheery, a bit playful, relatively happy, seemed for the most part all right. Now, I want to take you over to Jenna Miscavige here, who, like I said earlier, is the niece of the leader of Scientology.
Yay, Jenna.
The current leader of Scientology, David Miscavige. Let's hear what she has to say about her experience leaving Scientology.
My name is Jenna Miscavige. My uncle is the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. When I was in Scientology, I wasn't allowed to have kids. Many of you have asked me, how were your parents allowed to have you? And even, how was Tom Cruise allowed to have kids? The answer is that there are 3 types of Scientologists: public, staff, and Sea Org. And depending on whose story you're hearing, you're going to get different experiences. Sea Org members dedicate their lives to Scientology. They work at the highest level bases, sign billion-year contracts, live communally, are isolated from the world. They can only marry other Sea Org members, and they aren't allowed to have children.
Okay. So there's 3 levels of Scientologists. Now, I'm assuming the first guy, who thinks the world is all fucking sunshine and rainbows, apparently, is just in that staff section, you know? He's deep, but not too deep, which is the perfect kind of person to have presenting your religion.
They get $50 a week for working 15-hour days, 7 days a week, year-round with little to no time off. This is the group I was a part of, as were my parents. They had me before the no children rule. This is also the group that Shannon is a part of. If Shannon got pregnant, she would have to terminate or get kicked out. Then there are staff members who sign 2 to 4 year contracts. They work at Scientology's lower level orgs. They get little to no pay, but they can own a house, a car, and have kids, although they can rarely afford to.
So that was where the dude in the other video probably stands in Scientology.
Can live where they want, have regular jobs, raise kids, and basically just go into Scientology orgs to pay for counseling and training. Tom Cruise is public, so he doesn't work like a slave for Scientology, but he does benefit from the slave labor of the Sea Org members. All of this is done by Sea Org members like I was when I was 12 years old. And Tom Cruise is fully aware of this, yet he pays millions of dollars to support it. Sea Org members have no pensions, no savings, and no way to prepare for old age. Scientology has a documented history of abusing the elderly.
So they sort of set up these deep members to only exist within the religion. And that's convenient because these aren't the ones that are, public facing on the TikTok accounts and trying to recruit people. No, it's just the regular staff who feel like they're volunteers and aren't too deep into everything, or the actual public figures like the celebrities, Tom Cruise, Elizabeth Moss, John Travolta, stuff like that.
Spent their lives working for them, which I'll talk more about later. Elizabeth Moss also grew up in Scientology, not as a worker, but as somebody whose family had enough money to pay for Scientology services. Now she's the lead in a show about cults, where she plays the savior, while in real life she pays big money to support a human trafficking organization. She may not have realized this as a kid, but she's been an adult for a long time now, with internet access and the first-hand knowledge to know it's all true. This is why you don't want to have anything to do with Scientology. And this is why, if you have any friends dabbling, even if it doesn't seem serious, realize that this is what they're paying money into. It might seem nice and harmless at the lower levels, but that's just a cover-up for what it is at its core.
Okay, and that's what I presumed as well. It doesn't seem dangerous when you're at the lower levels. It's the big levels, the big wigs, the ones that are deep into it, that are hidden from everyone else.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there for a minute. I can't see when I'm on the other screen. I can't see what I'm showing here. And I can't see the chat. So let me take that down. One sec, guys. Okay, just going to look at the chat from. Hey, Tori. Nice to see you, Tori Magoo. His question about kids, as Jenna said, they got in before the no kids rule many years. Yeah, right. I mean, it's so confusing because you do have several levels, and I've heard staff members like I'm sorry, Mark Torrey. I'm trying to remember his name. Mark Torrey said that he was basically sent to Germany and he had no pay. He had no way to really get to the org. He had to figure out, because he was on staff, he had to figure out where to live, how to feed himself. He said he got really skinny. He couldn't eat, and it was terrible. It was terrible. So I remember that Aaron did a video reacting to these kids videos from Minnesota, and Natalie actually knew their father because he was her dentist. So he said, obviously they're a tight family. They're all Scientologists. They have sisters that say that, well, you'll show it later, that they don't consider themselves Scientologists, but they were raised in it. So maybe they don't call themselves Scientologists, but I'm sure they've got the teaching, and they just don't speak out about Scientology. So they're allowed to see them. But yeah, knowing this, like, they're probably just these kind of college bros that their parents give them money so they can either live at home, or their parents can fund them working there, because I'm sure they don't make much money. That's why he was like, well, it varies. So you definitely don't make enough, as far as I know, to even really support yourself when you're on staff. So let me go through a couple of your comments before I keep going. Hey, George, thank you so much for all your help. Scientology Minnesota on TikTok, 4,440 followers versus Jenna Miscavige, 328,000 followers. Yeah. Scientology flunk. Right. Yeah. If you haven't checked out Jenna I'm sure you have on TikTok. Tori, I follow her on TikTok. There's a bunch of other ex-Scientologists on TikTok. There's all kinds of Scientology content now. It's awesome. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Yes, it's coming up quick. I got to cook tomorrow. I might be on tomorrow again. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I had to go shopping today. That's why I'm so late getting on. I had to babysit and go shopping. Hey, Bilfy, CO Bilf, Scientology #1 purchaser of shiny two-tone vests that are too tight. I know. Yeah, I've heard you basically get what you get, right? Oh, I know. Northern Girl. The chapel is really big for all of their tens of members. Right. Right. And empty. Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, look how big it is, and empty. Yeah. I wonder what they meant by saying that other like-minded groups are welcome to use the auditorium and their facilities for free. I believe they probably do for free, but what other religions are like-minded? I mean, I was actually thinking about doing at some point, you know how so many ex-Scientologists have said that even though Scientology says that you can be a Christian or other, religions and still be a Scientologist, that's not true. And from my experience was just in only in Christianity, but very fundamental Christianity, which was like very literal, like you had to follow the Bible word for word. You could never be a Scientologist. And I was like writing down some of the things. Like one of the main things is reincarnation. Like most Christians that I know, and none of the Christians I know believe in reincarnation. So that's one thing that would be like a deal breaker. So anyways, when they said like-minded, that's what I thought of. So is the food good? I don't know. I guess it depends. George, just go like that. Guess not. I guess not. Okay. So they start talking about, there's a couple other topics to go. One about they play a segment from the I forgot his name, but somebody who interviewed John Travolta years ago. So that, and he was kind of trying to kind of confront him about the rumors about how terrible Scientology is. And then there's the way to happiness, that, and then also something about the vague language, which I thought was really, really good. So let me keep going on this here.
Course we all know about, and you for many years have talked about it. What have you got out of it, and how do you make, or what do you make of the scorn that many people pour upon Scientology? It seems to be that you're coming for more flack than any other faith or belief system out there.
Well, I don't know about that as much anymore, but certainly, I've been involved 32 years in Scientology, and it's given me all the tools to survive in life that I need, and it helps so many people, and we're all over.
I don't know about that as much anymore. That's kind of a politician answer. It's like, what do you think about all the bad press you guys get? Well, I don't know about that as much anymore. It's not a thing.
The world, and we go out of our way to help people.
That's where the problems are. And I think that was always my issue with understanding why Scientology was so bad, because all the information around it is so vague and people just say it's bad and you have to take the word for it. Now, it all sounds a lot more believable coming from Miss Jenna Miscavige, the niece of the current leader of Scientology. Now, with Jenna's statement in mind, let's head back to the Church of Scientology of Minnesota and see what they have to say about their relationship with Scientology and how it affects their lives.
You're being lied to about Scientology.
Okay, hey, I'm listening. You got my attention.
Okay, so one of the most frequently asked things I've gotten as a Scientologist, or we see in our comments, is, do we get to see our family? I think this is a very important question because it's very wrong, the answers and thoughts people have. First things first is this. This is actually my brother.
Checkmate, idiots. My brother's also a Scientologist, so of course we get to see each other. Yeah, I don't think people were concerned with you spending time or seeing with your family if they're also Scientologists. We want to know about the non-Scientologists, dude.
We work together. We have a great relationship with each other. Now, we are in a family of 7. Our parents are Scientologists, and our sisters do not call themselves Scientologists. That does not affect our relationship to them, nor their relationship to us. We see each other all the time. We get together with each other on holidays. Anything special, we're always there for each other. Yeah, and majority of my friends and his friends aren't Scientologists, and we see them all the time. And that goes for our family. And soon we're going to do a video on how him and I got into Scientology in Minnesota, so stay tuned.
So, because they live in Minnesota, there aren't that many Scientologists, right? And how did he get into Scientology? He was born in it.
Okay, so apparently they get together with their sisters who aren't Scientologists on holidays and whatnot. It sort of plays into the thing that Jenna was saying, where it's like at these lower levels, it's not as serious.
Then there are staff members who sign 2 to 4 year contracts. They work at Scientology's lower level orgs. They get little to no pay, but they can own a house, a car, and have kids, although they can rarely afford to.
When critical people are asking the questions to the TikTok page, do you get to see your family? Do they pay you? Things like that. You're asking someone in these lower levels who doesn't have the claws quite as deep inside of them. So quite literally, they might not be lying when they say, yeah, no, we get to see our family. Everything's fine. My life is perfect. Everything's great. We have a lot of fun. Scientology is enjoyable, because they might not even actually know what goes on the deeper levels. Let's hear it from the sisters. Why would I put my non-Scientology sisters on a Scientology TikTok? Be smart. To answer people's questions? To make them believe you? Maybe? That actually does seem like the smart thing to do. But no, it's good. We got the 2 handsome brothers. The 2 handsome brothers coming and telling you to learn Dianetics, dude. Learn Dianetics. Learn about your reactive mind. All right, let's hear from Jenna again.
Hi, I'm Jenna Miscavige. My uncle David Miscavige is the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. I was born and raised in Scientology, and I never lived in a home with my parents. only a dorm with a bunch of other kids. When I was 7 years old, I was made to sign a billion-year contract dedicating my soul to Scientology's paramilitary organization.
Okay, so that billion-year contract thing, I'm not saying that I need to prove to you that other people believe it and she might be lying. She's not. They do sign a billion-year contract. Here's a clip of the Minnesota guy talking about the billion-year contract.
So it says, is it true that people in the Sea Org sign a billion-year contract? The answer is yes, they do. It is a symbolic document which, similar to vows of dedication in other faiths and orders, serves to signify an individual's internal commitment to the goals, purposes, and principles of the Scientology religion. Sea Org members have dedicated their lives to working toward these ends and toward a world without war, drugs, crime, and illiteracy.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. The billion-year contract's a thing. It's symbolic. It's not legally enforceable. If I was a Scientologist, if I was trapped in this, I wouldn't be very worried about something being legally enforceable. I'd be worried more about how serious you guys fucking take this shit. You know? The billion-year contract being legally enforceable is not my problem. It's how much do you want to enforce it in your mind upon me? You know, that's the issue. Anyways, back to Jenna.
Yeah, it's trying to convince people that it's great or cool or normal or acceptable. No.
Time I was 12 until I was 18 years old, I was moved across the country from my parents, and I was forbidden to call them and physically restrained from doing so. I worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week, for as little as $12 of pay. I had no standard education or diploma, just a couple hours a week of Scientology-style schooling. I even lived at the Scientology Recruiting Center in
Look at the guy's face. I love watching him watch her. It's awesome.
Hollywood for a couple of years. I escaped at 22 after they tried to separate me from my husband and threatened to ruin his family. A few years later, I finally spoke out when they would not stop harassing me or having me followed or causing problems at my work and inserting spies into my life. If you want to learn more about life inside Scientology, then follow me.
So you know those books from earlier, they take them pretty seriously. They're literally only teaching you Scientology stuff. This is why there's a disconnect with the lower level people, because they didn't grow up in Scientology necessarily, and they're at the lower levels, you know, staff members and whatnot. They probably went to school, like a regular school, and then just attended the church every once in a while, and then at some point decided to become staff members. These people that she's talking about, especially the inner circle, sort of, that group is the one that they want to groom to thrive within the organization. They don't want you learning anything else but Scientology. Now, once again,
You got a pretty good handle on that part of it.
after hearing Jenna's side of things, horrible, by the way, let's see what the Church of Minnesota has to say. Now, what do you think they learn in Scientology? They got all those fancy books by L. Ron Hubbard. What do you think it is that they're actually learning? Well, they gave us a bit of an insight here on the Church of Scientology Minnesota. We have precept number 1 from the book, The Way to Happiness. And I'm excited because if there's a whole religion built around this shit, it's going to be some enlightening stuff.
Okay, so as I went over, we're going to spend every day going over a different precept from this book, The Way to Happiness, Common Sense Guide to Better Living. So the very first one is take care of yourself.
Take care of myself. You needed a religion for this? Take care of myself?
The very first one is take care of yourself. It goes over the things such as like getting care when you're ill, keep your body clean, preserving your teeth, eating properly. But there's one that I think we can all agree on.
Okay, here's the bombshell. This one's going to be the big bombshell.
Which is get rest. I don't think everyone gets as much rest as they could. So I'm going to read you the whole passage. It says, although many times in life, one has to work beyond normal sleep periods, a person's general failure to get proper rest can make him or her a burden to others. Tired people are not alert. They can make mistakes. They have accidents. Just when you need them, they can dump the whole workload on one. They put others at risk. Insist that people who do not get proper rest do so.
Really? This is the... I feel like if any of these people had just read some other like slop self-help book before turning to L. Ron Hubbard, they probably would have not ended up in this religion. Because
And not only is that so basic, but it's also not true for a lot of Sea Org members, because I've heard story after story after story about them working, 80, 100 and more hours and getting 4 hours of sleep a night and just being like zombies. It's terrible.
just about anything, you go to a bookstore, go to the self-help section, pull out just about any book, and you can read this, probably written in a better way and something that connects with you a little bit more. And that isn't outdated to the 1950s, like all the self-help stuff nowadays is at least like some updated modern stuff, It's not dated to the 1950s. To some guy who there's questions about whether he seriously even wanted to start the religion. There's theories out there that he started it as a joke. So I don't know, man. Doesn't seem like too big of a bombshell to me. Take care of yourself. Get some rest. Shit. Thankfully, they did upload the second precept. So let's listen to that one. Maybe that one's a little bit more enlightening.
Okay, so welcome back. This is the next day of following the precepts of the Way to Happiness. And the next precept we have is be temperate.
Yo, take care of yourself and don't flip your shit. Interesting. Interesting.
The next precept we have is be temperate. Now, temperate means not going to extremes, not overdoing things or controlling one's cravings. So the first part is do not take harmful drugs. And the other part is do not take alcohol to excess. So I'm just going to read a little bit from the do not take harmful drugs. These people who take drugs do not always see the real world in front of them. They are not really there. On a highway, in casual contact, in a home, they can be very dangerous to you. People mistakenly believe they feel better or act better or are only happy when on drugs. This is just another delusion. Sooner or later, the drugs will destroy them physically. Discourage people from taking drugs. When they are doing so, encourage them to seek help in getting off of them.
I mean, hey, look, at this rate, we can all have our own religions. If this is how low the bar is, buddy, I got some ideas.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there for a minute and play something else along the lines of this whole way to happiness thing. We'll let Jenna Miscavige weigh in on it and see what she has to say about the way to happiness. Okay, so I'm going to play one of her TikToks. And shout out to Jenna. She sent me this because I was looking for something, and she helped me get all this material together. So thank you, Jenna. Love you. Hope you're getting some rest. Okay, let me play this. Oop. Why isn't it working?
And I escaped when I...
Right. Here we go. Oh, having trouble playing this video. Refresh.
Happiness. One of the most unhinged chapters.
Okay, here we go.
Scientology has a little book
Sorry
called
about
The
that.
Way to Happiness. One of the most unhinged chapters is called Love and Help Children. The kid pictured in it grew up in Scientology, hanged himself in the Hollywood Recruitment Center, the same one where Shannon works now to recruit other kids into Scientology. My name is Jenna Miscavige. My uncle is the leader of Scientology, and I escaped when I was 22. The woman pictured here was a nanny in the Scientology nursery I was in as a toddler. It was a full-time job because the 1 hour after dinner we were supposed to spend with our parents called family time was canceled. So we spent all day and all evening in her care. Shortly after that, Scientology decided that the members of their most dedicated group were no longer allowed to have children. And that's when they started the weekly shuttles to the abortion clinic for women who got pregnant. When I was 15, they trafficked all of the kids from the California boarding school labor camp I grew up with across the country to their most profitable base in Clearwater, Florida, and put them to work carrying folders, cleaning offices, doing laundry work in warehouses. I was only allowed to see my parents twice between the ages of 12 and 17. Love and help children. Are you kidding me? Keep your kids away. Scientology.
Yeah, that's BS. Okay. Go back to this guy, and yeah, that's just heartbreaking. And it's so, I saw a comment, I don't know if it's starred, but saying that Jenna is the best. Oh, here it is. Yep. Brenda, Jenna is the number one best weapon against Scientology. I agree. Her sincerity and decency cuts through, especially for the younger people on TikTok. Totally, because that's blowing up. And you've also got people like Aaron and Tori Magoo and Liz Gale and people on there. There's a lot of Scientology content, but Jenna's just exploded like overnight. Her sincerity and decency cuts through. TikTok is her at her best. She's good. Oh, sorry. I'm having a hard time reading. She's good at editing down to expressing her message down so quick, easy to digest. Absolutely. And if you haven't read her book, oh my God, like she actually talks about that lady. I can't remember her name, but the lady she was talking about was her nanny. She was like a second mom to her for the longest time because she took care of her. And then even though 1 hour family time was canceled, I want to cry. It's just absolutely horrific what they did. And she was so young. And, I've heard people say, in the press or whatever, oh, well, kids go away to boarding schools, kids go away to military. They don't have to dig ditches and lug things and not ever be able to talk to their parents. It's just insane. There's no comparison. It's absolutely should be outlawed. And You know, it is, but not for Scientology for some horrible reason. CO Bill, be wise. Make sure your dentist and chiropractor aren't using LRH management tech. Right. What do they call that? Wise? Is that what they call that? Their little kind of front group for business management, whatever, probably from the 50s. Hey there, do they still own Clearwater? Pretty much, yeah. I can't remember how many properties, but I want to say 200. A lot. It's a lot. Absolutely. Hey, Adam, when I was recruited for staff, it was not as a volunteer. I was told flat out we would make plenty enough money for everyone to live well. Yeah. How did that work out? I'm curious because I know that's what they're told, but a lot of them are like unprofitable, right? You have to have your stats up or whatever in order to get paid. I'm curious if you actually did get paid and how much. Like, did you get what you were told that you would get? A lot of people said no, you know. Hey, Ava, I'm sorry, I can't read the handles because they're really hard to see. I've been watching a lot of Aaron's older videos. Thank you so much. That really is helping so much. He's been doing this for 10 years. That is something to be very proud of. Yeah, I wonder if he has like an anniversary coming up. We should check that out. It usually says the date that it started. That'd be interesting. Clearwater 666. Oh, the number of the beast. Just kidding. Gaslighting is part of narcissistic behavior. 100%. Yeah. CO Bill. Scientology will probably have to boost their false stats at the events by counting all the people viewing videos of clowning on them and dissemination. Right, exactly. A lot of the views are just like, oh, let's see how crazy they are. Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what NOI now has their 16th clear just a few days ago. What's NOI? He's trying to mouth it. Just send it to me. I'm trying to think what it is. Hey, Tori Magoo. I'm so glad you're here, Tori. Thank you, Northern Girl, for posting my link. Tori Magoo used to be huge, which Osa hates. Yeah, exactly. Now it's way smaller on YouTube, TikTok, much bigger, which I'm sure Osa loves. Yep, subscribe. They hate that. Definitely subscribe to her and on TikTok too. Nation of Islam. Oh, of course. Yeah. I should know that. I thought that too. Clearwater is so creepy at night. Yeah. I've been there at night. Actually, I got lost going to, was it Nash Keys or the other place? Yeah, it was just basically I was going around and it was like totally dark and nobody was on the street. It was scary. Net operating income. Her book was dynamite. Yes, absolutely. Okay, how is everybody doing? We got about, let's see, how many minutes we got left. We got about 13 minutes left. We good? We're about 2/3 of the way through. So if you don't mind, we'll keep going and kind of talk about stuff. Oh, hold on. Oops.
Really frightening story here. Not that everything she's been saying so far hasn't been frightening, but
My name is Jenna Miscavige, and my uncle is the leader of Scientology. I escaped when I was 22. My aunt, Shelley Miscavige, hasn't been seen by anyone outside of Scientology since 2005. Leah Remini last saw her that year and then reported her missing in 2016. Since then, Where is Shelley has exploded, bringing international attention to Scientology's abuses. Most people see my Aunt Shelley as a trapped, powerless victim. I see her differently, as the Ghislaine Maxwell to my Uncle Dave's Jeffrey Epstein. She was his right-hand man, so to speak, and she was there for it all. Protecting predators, covering up child abuse and deaths, separating children from parents, and helping to build the family-destroying human trafficking cult that it is today. It was my Aunt Shelley who forbade and prevented me from communicating with my parents as a child. It was she who kept me separated from them. And when I wanted to leave, it was Shelley who ordered someone to be posted outside of my door day and night to make sure that I couldn't escape. And she ordered hours of interrogations where I was physically restrained from leaving the room. All while she
These interrogations she's talking about, by the way, involve that little device that we saw earlier in the introductory video. This little kind of a lie detector test. So physically restrained and forced interrogations with this e-meter device.
While she was living in luxury, flying in private planes, with private chefs, with designer clothing, vacationing in the Caribbean, while being waited on hand and foot by teenagers, and hobnobbing with Tom Cruise and John Travolta. She's been reported missing, but hundreds of Scientology workers live at secret bases, isolated from the world. My Aunt Shelley works at a base near Lake Arrowhead. She's reportedly been seen visiting the chiropractor, going out to the movies, going out to eat Italian food. These are all privileges far beyond what I or other Scientology workers ever had. I really appreciate everyone who asks, where is Shelley? She might be isolated from the world, but so are so many others who weren't right there building a criminal organization and abusing children alongside my Uncle Dave. They won't have a celebrity asking after them because nobody even knows who they are.
This caught me way off guard when I first saw it. So I was like, damn, this person's missing and like barely anybody knows. Like, I haven't heard of this. But like, there's a fucking Wikipedia article dedicated to this. Shelley Miscavige was last seen in public in August of 2007. Once again, not trying to constantly question the validity of Jenna at all because I fully believe her. But it's crazy to just keep seeing things that she's saying like be confirmed elsewhere with something like this that tends to be like so vague and actually hard to find info on. It's here. Like, it's right here. This brings me to a relatively small, still interesting, but small thing that I noticed on the Church of Scientology Minnesota page. Look at this video here. It just has the words help. Now, I don't know if they're doing this as a joke. This isn't the only time they do this. So it just says help.
4 books in Scientology that you need to read. You want to learn more about the reactive mind and why you pick the way you do? Read Dianetics. If you want to learn about Scientology or fundamentals and principles, read Scientology, the fundamentals of thought. If you want to learn about work.
Sorry, I sped this up because I didn't want us to be here all night. Plus, I don't want the algorithm to freak out, but it's funny because it's like, it looks like some kind of like used car salesman or something.
How you can better handle work. Help. Problems at work. And if
So that was help. That was the clickbait of it all.
you want at-home therapy that you can do your.
Did you catch that? Are these hidden help messages? Are you purposefully creating a skit in here where you can say the word help? Do you need help? Do you genuinely need help? Because there's another example of them doing this. Same guy, by the way, which makes me believe it even more.
5 courses that you need to do in Scientology. Help. Help. Thank you. You're welcome. Success through communication.
Is this done on purpose? And then look at the foreboding face.
He's saying to himself, I just hope my friends don't see this. My non-Scientology Minnesota friends. Damn it.
Jesus. Nah, they're definitely in trouble. We need to help them. I think we need to help them. Okay, so I want to take a moment to talk about that little device again. That interrogation device. They call it an e-meter, and it's what they use to audit people. But I'm gonna let I think his name's Gunnar. I'm gonna let Gunnar take it over from here.
What's a Scientology auditing room? Let me show you. Auditing is our form of spiritual counseling. An auditor is described as one who listens. That's simply it.
I don't want my therapist to be an auditor, you know? There's something about auditing that doesn't sound right. It sounds like you're measuring my soul, you know? It sounds like you're weighing my soul and my worthiness. And I kind of think that's what you're doing. Auditor? You're going to fucking audit me? You're going to audit me? Okay, I have to mute it here while he's setting up because they play some copyrighted music, but this is him setting up the machine.
As the auditor, I would sit over here on the business side of the e-meter. Here are the cans. And from this perspective, I'm the person who's ready for session. So that's an auditing room. Auditor sits there, pre-clear sits there. Pre-clear, also PC for short, is a person who's going for the state of clear, per Dianetics.
Okay, so once again, they're doing the thing where they like kind of tell you about something, but don't really tell you what's going on. Class.
Yeah, that vague language of like, oh, we won't talk about that, but there's a blah, 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 all that strange language. That's like one huge earmark of a cult. We had it in our cult too. Nobody would understand what we're talking about.
Scientology fashion. From what my understanding is, from what happens in these rooms is they ask you relatively intimate, deep questions while you're hooked up to this device that works essentially like a lie detector test. But the questions that they ask you aren't yes, no, true, false statements. They're like deep questions. And then they kind of measure your response to those deep questions, which are a lot more complex when you're answering than just a yes, no, true, false answer. He also mentioned something there, pre-clear.
So that's an auditing room. Auditor sits there, pre-clear sits there. Pre-clear, also PC for short, is a person who's going for the state of clear.
And people who are going for the state of clear. Now, pre-clear means you're all fucked up. You got a lot of fuck shit going on. Your whole life is fucked, but you want to get better. Clear is someone who has ridded themselves of the things that are the reasons why they've turned to Dianetics or Scientology. So they've cleared themselves of all the issues, which happens through these like pseudo therapy sessions where they hook you up to a machine, must go through some level of like recursive questioning in order to like get to the bottom of something. But the way that they decide whether they're on the right track or not is with a lie detector. And these are the rooms that I believe Jenna is talking about, where people would be like restrained in there and interrogated.
It was Shelly who ordered someone to be posted outside of my door day and night to make sure that I couldn't escape. And she ordered hours of interrogations where I was physically restrained from leaving the room. All while she...
Now, that's not what these people are doing. That's not what the staff members are doing. This is an actual service people pay for, but they also use the device to do the hardcore interrogations for the like inner circle members, Sea Org people, whatnot. They, I guess, use it as well as a tool for like abuse. And Gunner.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that for a minute. Stopped in a funny place, but go through a couple of your comments about this. I saw some really good comments. Night Skyfire, you never know. I'm afraid if I went to Clearwater, I might come back tattooed. Yeah, you should go to I forgot the play. I have the card from the place I went to. I'm trying to think of what it's called, but it was good. It was cool. You should do it. You'll like it. As an accountant, it insults my profession in my trade to have them pervert the word audit this way. Yeah, hey? I know. It's so weird. I don't know. Why couldn't they just think of their own word for it? You know? Involving kids in Scientology is so gross. It's child abuse. Yeah. And I saw, oh, good. Yeah, I was looking at this. To those who are new here, those cans come in different sizes, including little child size. Oh my God. When I ever saw those tiny cans, they're just horrible. Horrible. And yes, they record your sessions. That's a good point. And they lock the door. Yeah. There's so many gross, evil things about Scientology. This poor kid couldn't possibly cover it all in one video, but oh my God. Yeah. I call him a kid because, you know, he's probably not a kid, but everybody's a kid that's younger than me. Hey, Bridge, nothing creepy about having everything in a file about you. Yes, be used against you when needed. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Absolutely nothing. Right. Good comment. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Auditor. Somebody who was being audited needs to buy two of those, right? I remember Natalie said she had to have 2 e-meters, and she's left-handed, so she had to have like special cans too. It's really interesting. Electric. Jenna, thank you for describing your eyes. Well, yeah, I mean, she's honestly complicit, you know. It's probably not everybody's not all evil, but she's seen a lot of things and she hasn't reported it. She's definitely complicit. So yeah, allegedly, but pretty solidly. Wikipedia is most unreliable. Yeah, I mean, I know for sure that people go and kind of manipulate the facts. So I'm sure Scientology tries to, you know, erase all the bad things that they don't want people to know, you know. Oh, even more. Yeah. Even more than the 5,000 for a platinum mechanical e-meter with turbulent. I don't know how to say that. Tourbillon and moon phase, right? Okay. How much longer do we have here? Oh, so we got about 6 minutes. That's good. Let's pop this back up.
Is now also about to explain to us how like their levels inside of the church are sort of affected by how well you can audit someone using that machine.
So somebody asked in the comments, what do the pins in Scientology represent? We have a few. I'm gonna go over 2. Okay, so this one right here actually refers to something that you can do at Flag, which is in Florida. It's called Superpower. I'll show you that. All right, Flag is here. It's down in Clearwater, Florida. They deliver very specific rundowns in Scientology. If you have a curiosity about that, you can DM me. All right, but this pin right here,
DM him.
That represents a rundown called Superpower, and that's all I'm gonna tell you about it.
That's all you're gonna tell me about it? You used fucking 4 crazy vague words that you see, you're really good at making people get into this shit. Because now I'm like, what the fuck is superpower? Flag? Clearwater, Florida? Rundown? Superpower? I want to know. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Fuck off. Superpower. No. Okay, dude. Yeah, okay, dude. Shut up.
Okay, good. So this pin right here is the other one I'm going to go over. This is a pin that's given to a person who's a class 4 auditor. What does that mean? An auditor is described in Scientology as one who listens, okay? And they deliver auditing technology to individuals. All right, come here. So the classification of the auditors depended on your ability to utilize this e-meter to deliver certain processes to an individual in Scientology.
Just listen to how vague that is.
Huh?
Utilize this e-meter to deliver certain processes to someone as an auditor. Dog, this does not sound good.
Do you utilize tools like this to drill, practicing using the e-meter, and then the theory of how it works? Okay, good. So a class 4 auditor is right there on the bridge. That means they're trained.
Look at this fucking skill tree here. Holy shit.
To deliver everything on this side of the bridge.
I told you he got spicy.
All right, and that's all we get to know about the e-meter. And in looking online for more info about the e-meter, I literally cannot find out much more. Looking at this goddamn skill tree here, it seems like there's a lot to know, but I don't think you really get to know it. I just don't think you do. But they do this thing all the time where they say some shit like, oh, you know, that's all I'm going to tell you about it. That's all you need to know, and that's all I'm going to tell you about it. Look, if you want to find out more, you can find out more on your own. Where it's like, but you were about to get to the important part of that thing, no? And he does it here too. Watch this.
Okay, so
Read a book.
Dianetics. Dianetics covers the reactive mind and the analytical mind, okay? Oh, I have a good idea. Mike, come here.
What's up?
Mike, when you served in the military, how after the military and your service did Dianetics help you?
Well, how it helped me was, you know, you're in a combat environment.
Yeah.
You basically experience a lot of stress. And then when you come back from that environment, you still experience that stress, but you don't know why. And so doing Dianetics, I was actually able to get to the root cause of that and completely get rid of all of those things that I experienced in the Army so that I can be myself in the present time.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you recommend this to other veterans?
Without a doubt. It does say the modern science of mental health.
Yeah.
And that right there is all you need to know.
That's all I need to hear.
No.
That's all you need to know. It's all I need to hear. No. What do you mean? You can't just be like, yeah, that's all you need to know. While the other guy goes, yep. You could just say whatever vague shit you want, and your buddy's going to be like, yep, yeah, no, 100% right, dude. Yep, you are an auditor, dude. Yep, and your reactive mind is off kilter. No, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say the words that you're saying? Yep, 100% true, bro. No, but what are you saying? Like, the words you're saying, what do they actually mean? What do you mean by that? Yeah, no, you're right, bro. You're right. And then they like try to pretend to have all these resources on their fucking website where you could learn more. Frequently asked questions like, what is Dianetics? You know, frequently asked question, what is Dianetics? I don't even want to read this to you because it's more of nothing. L. Ron Hubbard discovered the single source of nightmares, unreasonable fears. Okay, first of all, single fucking source. Eat my dick and balls. Insecurities and psychosomatic illness.
I didn't remember he said that.
In his book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, he described the reactive mind in detail and laid out a simple, practical, easily taught technology to overcome it and reach the state of clear. Dianetics is that technology. And then they just describe like the root words of Dianetics, like how you know, the Greek words that make it up. That doesn't answer what is Dianetics. That doesn't answer that. You're doing the same thing. This website is looking at me and going, yep, 100%, bro. Yeah, you're 100% right. Shut the fuck up and tell me what you mean. This is like sort of steamrolling, and there's tons of this content out there. Like, I'm telling you, look, they got the Los Feliz mission, the Scientology Stuttgart in Germany, Scientology in Taiwan, Scientology Chicago, Scientology San Francisco, Scientology Tampa, Scientology Miami, and I just only clicked a couple. There's so many more. Scientology Taiwan actually caught me off guard though. That's how did you get there? Anyways, guys, I think that's where I'm going to end it today. I was really deep in this rabbit hole, right? And as someone who had no idea what the fuck Scientology even was, it was fun to go down, and I kind of just wanted to share the exact same sort of rabbit hole that I went down, like in the exact same order, so that you guys could have experienced it too. So be careful, you know? It's cool to look into the pit, see if you can see the bottom, but don't fall in, you know?
We'll stop it there. I thought that was great. We made it through. We made it through all of 35 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with me and sticking to it. Yes, this guy's brilliant. Oh my God, he's so funny. I feel like I need to know more. Right? Because they don't really tell you anything. Exactly. I'm going backwards. See, Bill, this guy is hooked. he will be a Scientology watcher. Yeah, yeah. I feel like we definitely should connect with him because he seems pretty cool, and he's definitely gonna be watching, I'm sure. There you go. Invite him to a protest. Well, I don't know where he lives, but yeah, I mean, maybe Jenna can reach out to him. He'd probably be like, "Oh my God, Jenna," because he definitely knows who she is. That's awesome. Oh, you did? Oh, great. I left a few comments on this video for his viewers. Good. That's great. Oh, somebody said that guy gets a lot of views on his videos. Great exposure for Jenna. Absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna look. I had looked earlier. I think it's like 200. How many? 215,000 views, and that was 11 days ago. So yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. Oh, hey Eric, good to see you. Good job. Thank you. Yeah, I like this guy. Yeah, I like this guy too. All right, everybody. Wow, it's almost 11 o'clock here. It was great hanging out with you all. And I'll probably be on tomorrow, and we'll see who else pops up. Hopefully everybody is on the mend. And yeah, have a great night, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, oh, dancing on my love, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.